My man needs no introduction. Monte, runner-up of Big Brother 24. Monte, what's up, my man? How you feeling right now?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. No, it's a pleasant surprise to be talking to you guys tonight. Legends in the Big Brother game. Huge respect for your games. Season 16 was one of my favorites, so I just want to give you guys props for setting the tone with that. But I'm feeling great, man. Honestly, I think I did the best job that I possibly could to cover any holes in my game to the jury, and especially in making that move tonight to choose Taylor over Turner. Taylor did an amazing job communicating to the jury and just had a mind-blowing speech that probably it might even convince me to vote for her, to be honest with you. So, I feel like I did the best that I could, and to lose to her, I think is definitely a hell of a way to go out.
Well, dude, you definitely played an incredible game. You really came on strong in the end. And we want to tell you something that we think we're going to be the first to tell you. We're doing a little investigative research for you. And it might not mean a lot now, but I think it'll mean a lot to you later. And I want to let you know that we talked to Turner, and Turner was in the jury during the commercial breaks. And what you don't know is that after the roundtable, so well before the speeches tonight, the jury was telling Turner that they all collectively decided that if Taylor was in those final two chairs, they were voting for her no matter what. And so I tell you that because you might second guess. Cody was talking about it. He was a runner up. You might second guess the way you answered something, or could I've done it different. So, if Turner's telling the truth and I believe him, there's nothing you could have done. And I want you to take that because I think that'll help you as you go forward and process everything.
No, I do appreciate that, guys, because I really thought that the speech was what made the difference, but to hear that was the decision making coming into it, I was duped from the start, man. Nothing I could probably done to make any change there. But again, like, huge props to her and her story and how she's resonated with people in that jury, by the way that she's playing her game. So I can't say nothing bad about it.
Yeah. It was a great, she did give a great speech. Cody, do you want to hit him with the first question?
Well, I just want to say also, like, Monte, as an outside perspective also, like, I put it out there right when you did it. I was so fired up when you won the final HOH because, dude, I really liked you. I really liked you all season just because I was like, this dude is a dude that I feel like I could be friends with outside the house, like, not with the game involved. Like, you just, like, seemed like a straight up guy. I really liked you. When you picked Taylor, I put out, I was like, Monte lost it once he picked her. Because you don't know the story of what the outside views it as, and also, like, the inside also got a hint of it. So, like, don't have any regrets, man. You made that choice. And also, I think you can live with that choice of taking Taylor. You'll 100%. Live with that every time, which is why I always say it. I'll live with losing to Derrick that first time. I would never go back and change it. And I feel like you feel the same way about that decision to take Taylor. So
100%. Cody.
I have a lot of respect in because there was a lot weighing on you in just the grand scheme of things, which we can talk about at a longer length on this podcast, which I would love to talk to you a little bit more about it. But the first question I had for you was, do you think you could have done a better job with jury management? And do you feel that relationship that started to really form with Taylor clouded it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, when I think about jury management, the majority of the jury were folks that I had worked with in the alliance that was formed since week 3. And then even in more particular, right, talking about Kyle and Joseph, I mean, we were a part of the Pound, which formed the Leftovers alliance. So to me, I felt pretty solid with those guys, knowing that if I were to sit next to anybody outside of the Pound, I'd feel pretty confident knowing that I would have their vote. As far as what I could have done more with them, I mean, I was the most transparent, the most honest about these guys knew my game throughout this entire summer, and as well as some of the rest of the Leftovers. And until, things that I had to observe as evidence of mistrust happened with other folks in the Leftovers, like Michael, Brittany, Kyle, until those things happened, it was the same case for them where they knew my game. So I felt as if I did as much as I possibly could. And then especially compared to the people I'd be sitting next to, where Turner and Jasmine don't have a great relationship. Turner and Indy hadn't necessarily talked all season. As far as the girls in jury, could I have anticipated that they could have rallied, especially knowing that they formed the all-girls alliance at the beginning of the year and wanted to make sure that a girl won? Maybe I could have thought through that a little bit more, but since Taylor was on the outs with them throughout the entire season, it didn't seem like anything would change to me from that standpoint of them wanting her to win over one of their girls, perhaps, who, the way that they went about it. But that's just my thinking, man. That's just my thinking.
No, a lot of respect, dude.
I want to dive into that thinking because from the outside, and I know we've been there, it's different in there. You don't have that 3D perspective, but from the outside, it looked like Michael, his jury management was not good. And I told him this. I mean, we knew that Michael, you had to know Michael was pissed at him for how he went out. You had to know Alyssa was pissed at him for the way he went out. Didn't tell her, he definitely basically sent her home by splitting that vote. So was there a part of you that said Michael might be the easier road? And if so, what was the why? What was ultimately the defining factor for why you said, I'm still taking Taylor. I'm still going that route no matter what? Was it personal? We know there was a connection there. Or was it game related? Did you think you had a better chance of her? What was it? What was in Monte's head where you said, you know what? This is why I'm doing it. What was the reason?
Dude, I'm a pretty logical, analytical dude.
You are.
My degree in mechanical engineering. I think
we saw it all season.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, I'm glad it showed, but I thought about it purely from what I've heard the jury talk about all season was praising people who have made big moves or, shaming people who weren't making those big moves.
That's right. Michael did say that. You're right.
And so many people throughout the season who are big fans, especially Michael, especially Brittany. I mean, even the conversations I had with Brittany before I chose to evict her during the last week, she was talking about how apparent it would be if I were to sit next to Turner because of all the big moves that he had made in the game. And knowing that Michael is a big fan of the game and the way that he could influence the jury, in my head, it became cemented that if I sat next to Turner, I couldn't argue or debate the moves that he had made being less significant than the moves that I had made. He made some big, Amira, Kyle, Michael, all on his HOHs. I thought, how am I going to defend that? How am I going to speak to that? Whereas Taylor, I felt like the margin was so large or larger than with Turner. More HOHs, more veto competitions, more bigger moves, less times on the block. It just, in my head, I couldn't compute how I wouldn't, be the obvious victor. But again, every jury is different. And
this season's different, man. The season's different. And
hell yeah.
It kind of came because you overlooked that story. Like Taylor's story. Did you ever like really understand that or view that at all when thinking about her sitting in the final two, like her in the beginning of the game being public enemy number one, being the outcast and coming into this alliance? Was that ever in your thought process as maybe the jury can find that as a justifiable reason to vote for a winner in the end in itself? Was that ever a thought for you?
Yeah, I think it was a thought, and other people used it in their pitches when they were sitting next to her on the block, like Alyssa used it. Other people have as well, saying that, like she's been on the block 5 times and still hasn't been evicted. I was like, yeah, sure. But as far as the relationship that I had with an Indy and with a Jasmine, I didn't think that the relationship that Taylor had with those two people was anywhere near the connection that I had formed with them from day one up until the point that they were evicted. So, Indy went out on Taylor's HOH. Jasmine was voted out by Taylor. I was sitting next to Jasmine on the block, not Taylor, So in my head, I thought my relationships that I had formed with those people, whether they've been from a game perspective or a personal, I just thought that they were stronger, man, to be honest with you. But again, the cause and rallying around that cause, which is honorable, and I respect 100% having the first African-American woman win Big Brother. I'm glad to be a part of that, 100%. Right.
And by the way, you're walking away with a little change too, my friend.
You got some money coming your way.
I think I'm doing all right. Yeah.
$75K for 80 days worth of work. You're gonna have some social media stuff afterwards. You're gonna be just fine, my friend. Good looking dude. You're gonna be all right. I got a question for you that I think you kind of answered because now I understand your perspective on Michael. You thought he had a better game than Taylor, so maybe this didn't cross your mind. But you're such an analytical guy. I don't see how it wouldn't. Was there ever a thought when you were running scenarios where you said, how do I turn this into this negative into a positive by me having to control who I send home? Why not let Turner win?
Yeah.
He's going to take you. You knew he was going to take you. Let him cut Taylor. Now Taylor's definitely voting for you. And Mikey's got this terrible jury management. Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah,
I think
no,
it's Matthew, by the way. I keep calling him Michael. It's Matthew Turner, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wish you would just call him Turner. Every time
Yeah,
you
I
say
don't know why I do
Michael,
it.
I
Turner, dude.
actually am like,
Yeah,
wait.
I'm all
mean,
confused. But did that ever cross your mind to make that move?
Well, when it comes to, I may be a little bit of a control freak, right? So I'm an entrepreneur. I like to have things in my hands.
Yeah.
So me throwing a comp, especially that last comp, and Turner even admitted, man, after I evicted him, he was like, honestly, dude, I might have done the same thing. So like, when we had that conversation, it put me more at ease that, okay, I made the right decision in winning that comp. But I did play out the scenario of, okay, if I pick Turner in choosing him over Taylor, I thought in my head, okay, then that's a loss on Taylor's vote because I obviously told her multiple times that I would pick her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go back on that would be pretty
Among other circumstances.
perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps, yeah.
So that was one thing. And then outside of that, then I felt like the jury would look at my game and be like, oh, he's still scared to make a big move. Like he wasn't able to make any sort of move that would be on his resume that could match Turner's. You know what I mean? So that's where my head was at.
That makes sense, bro. It seems like you thought it out. There's not much you could have done. Cody, you got the last question,
No,
right?
I mean, you just thought it out. Like, I mean, you did a lot of things. I just want to know, like, what is your biggest, you come back again, right? You're going to play this game again. I mean, if you do play this game again, you're totally someone that is justified to play this. You were incredible.
Absolutely.
How would you change how you play the game? Because as someone like, I understand everything you went through. I was somebody that picked somebody, lost the game. I adjusted the second time I came back. How would you find like these subtle adjustments to make yourself go to the end and win the game if you were able to play again?
Oh man.
It's hard right now because I know it's so fresh.
He's like, man, I just lost in the final two. He's like,
I want a drink and some music, man. You guys are asking me.
I feel you. Cheers to that, bro. We've been out here. Come on,
We've been out here.
We'll see you back here.
Xavier was on here too. Well, listen, we'll summarize it there because we know you got a lot going through your head.
Yeah.
And ultimately, here's what I'll say. You played a great game, Monte. You really did.
Yeah, bro.
We were rooting for you. We thought you did well. We did think that Taylor, if she got to the final two chairs, we said she's got this because we were getting the outside perspective.
Yeah.
What was being said in jury and all that. So it's easy at that point. But that all being said, a history, my friend. And by the way, both of you sitting there, Xavier was on before you came on. 2 African Americans in the final again. I mean, it's impressive. And it's a trend now. And it's because of people like Xavier and stuff. And he actually broke down and was crying on the show.
Meant a lot.
An hour ago. So we're proud to have you as part of the family because you are. You're part of the Big Brother family now. You represented the season great. The season was a huge success, which is why it got renewed. So be proud of that because you conducted yourself in a way that you and your family should be very proud of.
100%, man. No, I appreciate it. And it means a lot coming from you guys. You really don't know, like when I was binging these seasons and watching you guys go through season 16, crazy to hear that I'm talking to you guys right now. So it means
we're going to talk again, bro. We're going to talk again for sure.
No, it's a must. It's a must.
We'll get your number. We'll talk again. But listen, everyone's going crazy in the chat. Thank you for joining us here. Go out, have a good night. You deserve it. Have a drink. Make sure. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Take care.
All right, brother. Take care.
Bro.